Hello, welcome to CLSP Politics. Sean Briscoe speaking. So, I want to talk a little bit more detail about the OBBB's economic impact. We all know what they went after. I just spoke about that in the last few videos. We know that they went after education, and we know they went after healthcare big time, and immigration. All three of those have huge implications on the impact of the overall economy of this country. And I just want to kind of highlight some of that impact. So this is how they're doing so far. This is economic growth last quarter. It was worse than we thought. Yeah. That's Q1 2025. Not great. Last time it was anything close to this, we were in a pandemic, which means, million people died. So here we are. There's no pandemic going on. There's no reason for Q1 to be like it is, beyond just the fact that the Republicans can't govern and they're driving this bus right off the cliff. Weirdly, when you look at US immigration, it follows a similar pattern, doesn't it? It's very weird how it follows that pattern. Like, it's almost like the immigration community, immigrants that come across into this country, are a huge economic machine in manufacturing, house building, agriculture, healthcare, a lot of different places. Here, I'm going to go back again just so you guys can see. Okay. Wow. Maybe, just maybe, the Republicans are destroying this country economically. So there's that. And just before anyone starts to point fingers and say, well, Democrats spend too, except for not so really that much. In fact, we bring down the deficits pretty much every time we take control. And Republicans always, I mean, was it 9 of the 10 economic disasters since 1970 have occurred under Republican watch? That's not an accident. They literally cannot govern. And for some reason, people think that the Republicans are somehow better at economics than Democrats. That's not at all true. And the math super does not support that understanding. Now, it makes rich richer. So if you're a billionaire, yeah, Republicans are great. But if the other 98% of the population, what? Why do you vote for these morons? They do nothing for us. So I got a couple more fun graphs because math is fun. That's the healthcare in the nation as a top employer. Yeah, healthcare is the number one employer in this country. Let's just think about that real hard, real quick, just right now. Number one employer. And we just took a sledgehammer to it. And we're going to continue to take a sledgehammer to it for the next, 4 years. This is crazy time. This is crazy. Number one employer. We're just going to, destroy. And real quick, I'd just like to emphasize something on this graph. Number one employer. And then when you go to rural America, the second one is like agriculture or prisons. So, yeah. So the party that's supposedly the best at the economy just gave $3 trillion more debt to my grandchildren and went after the number one employer in this country. Yeah, this is super not going to work out for them or us or anyone involved. Because what's really interesting, and I'm going to go into this a little bit, and really, some of these graphs and maps are just insane. But here, let's just continue on. So not only is it the number one employer, it pays very well. nursing, physicians, aides, non-healthcare related, those are technicians. All of those Pale Grant expansion for, programs for education I talked about in a previous video. Yeah, those would be the non-healthcare related healthcare jobs. They're technicians. They basically make sure that the machines keep working and do things like that. But still, you're looking at like nurses, incredible. Physicians, nurses is like an incredible job for second, generation immigrants, women. I mean, huge, huge, huge employers. Americans now spend more on healthcare than groceries or housing. Okay, and that's when health at the current rate of healthcare availability. Well, as we know, when when any service goes down, any service at all gets tighter, and there's less of it, the price goes up. We're already spending more than ever. So what do you think that's going to do? Any guesses? Well, if you said it's going to be more expensive, then you are correct. And we're already spending more on that than just about anything. So it's literally just about to go up again. Not cool. GOP, Republicans did this. 100% they own this. If you like what you're learning, if this is helpful to you, like and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, make comments. I always take input. If you wish to support this channel, I have a PayPal at CLSP Politics. Thank you. I want to talk about where the country was and where we're going. So back in 1990, manufacturing and retail were really, and hospitality, public administration, these are the areas that, were the biggest employers in 1990. Anybody want to guess what our biggest employer is now across the country? Well, anything purple's healthcare. That works for rural, that's suburban, urban, there's retail way up there. There's hospitality in Wyoming and Nevada. Makes sense, actually, if you think about it. It's like not many people in Wyoming, but I'm sure there's a lot of hiking, camping, that kind of thing. And Nevada, of course. Everything is in Vegas stays in Vegas, including, hospitality. Yeah. Professional services. Way to go, Virginia. Manufacturing. All right. Rust Belt coming back a little bit. Like that. Healthcare everywhere. And wherever healthcare is in first, it's second in all these states. The GOP did this. They're going to gut the largest industry in this country. Going to create so much unemployment in rural America, in suburban and urban America. But rural America is going to get nailed to the wall. They're going to lose 38 hospitals in Kentucky alone. Kentucky's not necessarily that big of a state. Doesn't necessarily have that many people. This is going to be nuts. This is going to be really, really bad. So let's talk about food stamps. Yeah. So, and I talked about this a little bit before. I want to just reiterate it a little bit, simply because it relates to food eligibility. And if you don't have food, you're going to have an increase in health problems. And these are all the areas they're gutting the food. So not only are you gutting healthcare, the number one employer, you're going to create more clients for that industry that's just got gutted. Because I think food is kind of important to people's health. If they can afford better food or have access to better food, they're probably going to have better health outcomes. So I just thought I'd bring this back, reiterate it just a little bit, because I thought it was important. Like and subscribe if you wish to support this channel. I have account in PayPal at CLSB Politics. Every little bit counts. Wow, everybody. I'm putting out these videos all this week. It's important. It's really, really important. And when everything goes sideways by 26, 27, only place we should be looking is the GOP. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.